L.B. Cole, Early Croydon, Crime, Good Girl Art, Digest, paperback cover art. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Levisi, and we're going to take a look at L.B. Cole and his artwork covers on the first 16 Croydon books. The first 12 were digest size, and then the next 4 were paperback size. And then we're going to look at an extra 2 books later on. But Croydon Books was an interesting publishing outfit. They were located in New York, and they published, they're known for sleaze paperbacks. But what they early books were had great cover art by L.B. Cole, who was a terrific artist in the horror comics of the time in the 40s and 50s. He did outstanding work, and he's well remembered today and collected. He did the early covers for the Croydons, and they were basically mysteries, and they were abridged reprints of other books, these digests, these first 12 digests that I'm going to show you. And they are mystery crime novels that were abridged and in digest size. And the Croydon series continued for 110 issues. It began in 1945 with number 1 and continued for 110 issues to 1954. After the first 16 or 17 issues, the digest had cover art by Jean Sazfran and Lou Marchetti and others. They had much more sleazy, good girl art covers and more provocative titles. But these early Croydons are interesting because they're pretty scarce, hard to find, and the L.B. Cole cover art is really terrific and really interesting, really nice. So without further ado, we're going to look at the first 12 here. Here's the spines of the books. The first 5 were not numbered, then they were numbered on the covers. And these are typical L.B. Cole in his horror style. We're going to take a look at the first one. Here Lies Blood by M.M. Mannon. This is number 1 from 1945. And here's the inside, what the Croydon digest looked like. And it's funny because these were crime novels, mystery crime novels, and then they became sleaze later on. But they started out as crime novels. Number 2, Murders I've Seen by Philip Meacham. It's another great, outstanding L.B. Cole covers. These are all L.B. Cole covers, and it's just terrific. Number 3 is Many a Murder, and it's by Delilah Van Dusen. And here you see Cole's signature. And these are all just kind of really moody crime, but with a little horror. And you can see where Cole, was a master at horror. And these Croydons are pretty cool. The back covers had different design. This same kind of design, but usually in different colors. I'll show you some of those as we continue. So these are the first 3 Croydon digests. Number 4, Vicious Circle. It's by Manning Long. And here's Cole again, signature. And you see the hypodermic needle, the knife, the gun, the poison, all the images of crime and murder and mystery. Beautiful cover art. Number 5 is Have You Seen This Man by Jean Hurley. Another terrific cover. And again, it's you see the criminal here, and here's his wanted poster. That's really cool. And that's number 5. Number 6 is the first one with a number on the cover. It's Murder Makes a Villain by Dennis Scott. And then that's that issue, and the number is up here. Again, these are all digests, and they're all abridged mysteries. They're reprints of other mystery hardcover books, and they're abridged. And the back covers, interesting because they have different, the back covers is different slightly. Same design basically, but you know, kind of cool, kind of interesting. So these are the first 6, again, all L.B. Cole covers. Okay, and number 7, Dork Watch by Carolyn Coffin. Interesting name for a mystery writer. That's number 7, and this is the only one that is not an L.B. Cole cover. This is by Dan Barry. So all the others will have L.B. Cole covers, but it's still it's in the style of Cole, definitely. That's number 7. Number 8 is Murder on the Mountain by Christine Noble Govan. Nice cover, nice piece of work. Cole's signature is prominent there. Number 9 is The Dead Take No Bows by Richard Burke. Beautiful cover. A stage with moonlight, hands clapping. It's Cole's signature, but you know, murder's going to take place in this novel. The back cover of this one, of these here, are Croydon was a Superior publication. They were published at 108 West 39th Street in New York City. And again, as I say, they started with number 1 in 1945, and these early ones were reprints of mystery novels, and they went to 1954, 110 issues in the series. And they went from the first 12 were digests, then the next 4 are paperback size, and then they go back to digests again. So it's pretty interesting. Number 10, Murder at Belle Camille by Monty Barrett. Another Cole cover. Monty Barrett wrote for Popular Library. He wrote some westerns, and he wrote murder mysteries. And this is a nice eerie cover with the eyes looking at him. Number 11, Cole is getting into a little bit of the good girl art, which will eventually become the mainstay for Croydon. And also the authors are beginning to change a little bit. You have Cheaters at Love by Wright Williams. This is number 11, and you can see here he's doing a little bit of good girl art. The Croydon seal, number 11. They were 25 cents, these digests. Wright Williams was the author, and he did a lot of kind of sexy digests, kind of risque, romantic type of love, what they called love novels in those days. But basically, they're not the romance love novels of the 40s and 50s are not to be compared to the romance or love novels of today. Those were more kind of noir, women in trouble, women who were making difficult decisions involving men in their life and all of that. So it was a different kind of situation, whereas the bodice rippers and also these books were geared toward the male audience, whereas modern romances today are geared toward the female audience. So there's a whole different perspective. Number 12, An Exciting Story of Great Love, is Love Happy, and that's by Edie Jerome. That's number 12. And again, you can see, you know, the good girl art influence now is starting to take into effect from moving away from the crime horror that Cole was doing, and he could do good girl art, cartoony style, quite nicely. And the back covers of these, a little different now. So here you have what was the traditional up to that time Croydon back cover, these here. And then now you've got this, the newer Croydons, which are, you know, talking about the books, and they're more in the sleaze vein, or in the good girl art vein, which they will continue to do. Now, at this point, Croydon did a little trick. They went from digests to short-sized paperback books, and there were 3 of them that were published in the about 1949. And first one is Reckless Virgin by Glenn Watkins. That's that one. The next one is Shadows of Lust by Ralph Carter. And that's number 13 and 14. Number 15 is Fool for Love by Wright Williams. Wright Williams again, the guy that was in the earlier digest. So you see that they're coming into the really way that the Croydons will be depicted in the future. And then number 16, the last one of these paperback size one, Sinner by Gordon Semple. And the back covers of these are just basically the same design, with a little bit of, you know, talking about the book or by the author, and a little bit about that. But and these 4 are a nice group of books. They're all by L.B. Cole. So there you have the early Croydon publishing company books, the digests and the paperbacks. After this point, they would go right into sleaze and publish books with cover art by Rudy Nappi, Lou Marchetti, and a lot of work by Gene Sasran and others. And it would be out and out, you know, sexy sleaze, good girl art like this. And the titles would be more provocative. They would not be the mystery horror that the early Croydons were. So it's interesting because the series changed, and these early ones are tough to find. The other thing is that there's a 2-book series which came out in 1946, right after the Croydons started, and that was the Love Romance series. And there's 2 books in that series. That was by Palace Publications from New York City, probably related to Croydon. And Nice and Naughty is the first book in the series, in this little series, by Gordon Semple. L.B. Cole cover. And Faithfully Yours is number 2 by Eliot Brewster. These are 2 guys that wrote a lot of sleaze digests. And you can see the Love Romance logo. This is number 2. And you can see Cole's signature on the cover here and down here. Really cute, sexy covers, and the back covers of the Love Romance series logo. So that's a look at the early Croydon books, and some early kind of hard to find L.B. Cole vintage paperbacks and digests. That the paperbacks, the 4 paperbacks are usually around. You can find them sometimes in pretty decent shape. The digests are pretty tough to find, and they're much sought after. Cole did a lot of outstanding comic book work, and a lot of people don't know about the digest that he did. There was a recent book that came out about Cole and his horror comic work and other work. He did a lot of covers, some of them for sleaze paperbacks later on that weren't signed. And he did these 12 early Croydon books, and the book that came out about Cole, I furnished the cover scans for the digests, because these digests were not known in the possession of the author. So I was proud to have contributed somewhat to that book. And anyway, it's a cool series. It's interesting because of what Croydon became. They had 110 books that lasted until 1954 in their series. They reprinted some of the books with different numbers, but this isn't really so much about the later Croydon books. This is the early ones that I wanted to look at with the L.B. Cole covers, because I think they're so special. I think they're really cool, and I hope you enjoy them and as much as I did and do. And again, I want to thank you for looking. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a like and a thumbs up, and subscribe. Tell your friends about what we're doing here, and thanks for looking. I hope you see you again soon.